Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renuka Aris with the evening news. The headlines. Javelin thrower Sumit Antil and shooter Avni Lekra win gold medals in Tokyo Paralympics. India ends day 6 on historic 5-medal high. Yogesh Kathunia clinches silver in men's discus throw. Devendra Jhajharia wins silver and Sundar Singh Gurjar bags bronze in javelin throw. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate the para-athletes. Multiple rocket attacks across Kabul ahead of tomorrow's deadline by United States to complete its withdrawal from Afghanistan. Indian Air Force aircraft return after evacuation operation in Afghanistan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says nations should remain vigilant and be prepared to deal with any threat. More than 64 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country. Recovery rate stands at 97.51%. Delhi government issues SOPs for reopening of schools, colleges and other educational institutions from 1st of next month. INS Airawat reaches Ho Chi Minh City port in Vietnam with COVID relief material as part of Mission Sagar. Sensex and Nifty hit record closing highs, and Janmashtami is being celebrated with religious fervour across the country. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. In Tokyo Paralympics, India today secured its 2nd gold medal. India's Sumit Antil today set a new world record to win the gold medal in the men's javelin throw F64 event at Tokyo. With a best throw of 68.85 meters in the final, he took India's medal count to 7. Indian shooter Avni Lekra created history by winning the gold medal in the women's 10-meter air rifle shooting event at Tokyo Paralympics today. The 19-year-old became the first woman from India to win a Paralympics gold medal. Avni finished with a Paralympic record and in process equaled the world record with 249.6 points. Yogesh Kathunia clinched the silver medal in men's discus throw after registering his season-best attempt of 44.38 meters. While Devendra Jhajharia won the silver medal, Sundar Singh Gurjar bagged the bronze in the men's javelin throw. Devendra Jhajharia grabbed silver with a personal best throw of 64.35. This was also his 3rd medal at the Paralympic Games. Sundar captured bronze with a season-best throw of 62.58. India ended day 6 on a historic 5-medal high.
The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister have congratulated Sumit Antil on winning gold medal in javelin throw at the Tokyo Paralympics. In a tweet, President Ramnath Kovind said, Sumit Antil's historic performance in javelin throw is a moment of great pride for the country. Mr. Kovind said every Indian is elated to hear the national anthem at the podium. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said, India is on a medal-winning spree today. He said, Indian Paralympians have made the entire nation proud. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, Indian athletes continue to shine at the Paralympics. He telephoned Sumit Antil and congratulated him for a historic performance. The Prime Minister told him that he made the nation proud and youngsters would be inspired by him. Youth Affairs, Sports and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur posted the emotional video of Sumit while talking to the Prime Minister.
Hello.
Sir, namaste. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. जी सर।
देश के नौजवानों को
जी सर। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
The Prime Minister has congratulated shooter Avani Lekhara on winning gold medal at the Tokyo Paralympics. The Prime Minister spoke to Avani Lekhara and said this win is a matter of great pride. The Prime Minister said this is truly a special moment for Indian sports. Avani expressed happiness at the support she has received from the entire nation.
I want to dedicate this medal to all the Indians, all 130 crore people who wish me and support me, and thanks a lot everyone. Everyone has been so supportive. Our Government of India, Sports Authority of India, our PCI, everybody has been so supportive.
The Prime Minister has congratulated Devendra Jhajharia on winning silver medal in javelin throw at the Paralympics. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said, "It was a superb performance by Devendra Jhajharia and one of India's most experienced athletes wins a silver medal." The Prime Minister also had a telephonic conversation with him. He acknowledged Devendra's rich efforts and said, since he hails from the land of great Maharana Pratap, he excels in javelin throw. Devendra dedicated his medal to his family members for their support.
बोलना चाहूंगा मेरे परिवार को, मेरे मम्मी पापा को जिन्होंने मुझे ग्राउंड में भेजा, विशेष तौर पे मेरी वाइफ को, क्योंकि मैं घर पे नहीं रहता हूँ बिल्कुल भी, बाहर रह के ट्रेनिंग की, उन्होंने सब मैनेज किया और कहीं न कहीं उन्होंने मुझे मोटिवेट भी किया कि आप कर सकते हो। और 16 से 21 तक मेरा कोई मेडल नहीं था, फिर भी मैंने वापसी की अच्छी थी और आज मेडल जीता है, सिल्वर मेडल। मैं स्पेशली थैंक यू मेरे कोच सुनील जी को बोलना चाहता हूँ जिन्होंने मुझे इतनी ट्रेनिंग करवाई।
Congratulating Sundar Singh Gurjar for winning bronze, Mr. Modi said, India is overjoyed by the bronze medal won by Sundar Singh Gurjar. During the telephonic conversation, the Prime Minister said his performance was fantastic. President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu have also congratulated these medal-winning para-athletes. The President said, another daughter of India, Avani Lekhara, has made us proud, becoming the first Indian woman to win a gold at Paralympics. He also congratulated Yogesh Kathunia for winning silver in discus throw, Devendra Jhajharia for winning silver in javelin throw, and Sundar Singh Gurjar bagging bronze in javelin throw. In a tweet, the President said he is delighted to see the Paralympians bring more glory to the nation. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said every Indian is celebrating the success of these Paralympians. President of Paralympic Committee of India, Deepa Malik, has lauded the performance of Indian athletes in the ongoing Tokyo Paralympics. She said they are winning medals by breaking records. Talking exclusively to AIR News from Tokyo, she congratulated the medal winners for making the nation proud and expressed confidence that more medals will come in the para-badminton, archery, shooting and other events.
We have already crossed the ballpark mark of Rio Paralympics. We have shattered that. Of course, we are waiting for another gold to equal it. Today, we will have much more happy news coming in from our javelin throwers, Sandeep Chaudhary and Sumit Antal, who are respectively in their own categories world record holders, but they'll be competing against each other since the category is combined.
Deepa Malik also thanked the Sports Authority of India for its continuous support and credited the government's Target Olympic Podium scheme and other measures for the historic performance of Indian para-athletes.
Afghanistan capital Kabul was rocked by a series of rocket attacks today. According to reports, the attacks in the vicinity of Kabul airport were intercepted by U.S. missile shield. These attacks have come barely a day before the U.S. deadline to complete its withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. The U.S. pullout will bring curtains to the 2-decade-long military conflict. Meanwhile, Islamic State Khorasan Group has claimed responsibility for the rocket attacks on Kabul airport today. The claim of responsibility was carried by the militant group's media arm, the Amok News Agency. Earlier, U.S. President Joe Biden decided to stick with the August 31st deadline for withdrawing troops from Afghanistan. Meanwhile, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi today said the Afghan people need governments, humanitarians and ordinary people to stay with them and stay the course. In a statement, he said the international community must meet the critical humanitarian needs in Afghanistan and in countries around the region with robust and urgent response. The United States military has said it is investigating the reported killing of 9 Afghan civilians after it conducted an airstrike on Sunday U.S. Central Command said in a statement that the strike targeted a vehicle carrying at least one person associated with the Afghan branch of the Islamic State group. It said there were a number of substantial and powerful subsequent explosions after the strike hit the car that was being targeted. The U.S. has been on high alert since a suicide bomber killed more than 169 civilians and 13 U.S. troops outside the airport last Thursday. Meanwhile, a U.S. anti-missile system today intercepted multiple rockets flying over the capital towards the airport. The White House said operation is continuing uninterruptedly at the airport in Kabul after a rocket attack. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said in a statement that President Joe Biden had been briefed on the attack.
The Indian Air Force transport aircraft deployed to evacuate Indians from Afghanistan have returned to their respective home bases. The IAF had deployed its C-17 Globemasters and C-130J Super Hercules aircraft for evacuation operations of Indians stuck in Afghanistan. The operations after the takeover of Kabul by the Taliban were also carried out under extreme conditions. The Garud commandos of the Air Force also had joined hands with the ITBP personnel posted in the crisis-hit country. The External Affairs Ministry has said that the government is committed to the safe return of all Indian nationals from Afghanistan. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla is now chairing the United Nations Security Council UNSC meeting on the situation in the West Asia. India currently holds the rotating presidency of the United Nations Security Council for the month of August. Mr. Shringla reached New York yesterday evening. The Foreign Secretary will attend events relating to the wrap-up session of India's UNSC presidency. After his engagements in New York, Mr. Shringla will visit Washington, D.C. for India-US bilateral consultations. The UN Security Council is likely to adopt a resolution on Afghanistan later today. India is the president of the UN Security Council for the month of August. The discussion on the situation in Somalia and the Middle East is underway. If adopted, it would be the first resolution on Afghanistan at the UN Security Council this month. Earlier this month, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar presided over an emergency session at the UN Security Council in the wake of the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan.
India has said the situation in Afghanistan is raising new questions from the security point of view, and it is constantly monitoring the situation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said along with the security of Indians, the government also wants to ensure that anti-national forces cannot encourage cross-border terrorism by taking advantage of the situation in Afghanistan. He was addressing the third Balramji Das Tandon Memorial Lecture organised by the Punjab University at Chandigarh on the issue of national security through video conferencing today. He said the nation should remain vigilant and be prepared to deal with any threat. Commending the armed forces for their ongoing efforts to counter terror activities in Jammu and Kashmir for the last 7 years, the Defence Minister exuded confidence that the Union Territory will soon be free of terrorism.
राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा से जुड़े मुद्दों पर हम न राजनीति करते हैं न होने देते हैं, इसलिए भारतीय सेना और सुरक्षा बलों में यह भरोसा पैदा हुआ है कि राष्ट्र रक्षा के कर्तव्य पालन में उन्हें खुली छूट रहेगी और इससे सेना और सुरक्षा बलों का आत्मविश्वास और मनोबल कितना ऊंचा हुआ है, इसका अनुमान आप इसी बात से लगा सकते हैं कि पिछले 7 सालों में भारत के हिंटरलैंड में एक भी बड़ी आतंकवादी घटना उन्होंने नहीं होने दी.
The Defence Minister expressed hope that terrorism in Kashmir will end as the strength that separatist forces used to get there due to Article 370 and 35A is over now. Talking about border security, the Defence Minister said several anti-India forces have attempted to create an atmosphere of instability in India since independence. He said a massive effort has been made in this direction from Pakistan's soil. However, Indian Army and security forces have not only faced every challenge but also retaliated them. He said Pakistan always received a befitting reply from Indian security forces on ceasefire violations.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, after completing his visit to the Union Territory of Ladakh, is presently on a visit to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir as a part of the Parliamentary Outreach Programme. The program is aimed to strengthen the Panchayati Raj institutions in Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Birla is scheduled to inaugurate the Parliamentary Outreach Programme in Srinagar tomorrow for strengthening the Panchayati Raj institutions. The Speaker met the representatives of District Development Council, Block Development Council and Sarpanch of Panchayati Raj institutions of Anantnag district and other nearby areas at Pahalgam in South Kashmir. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Javelin thrower Sumit Antal and shooter Avni Lekhra win gold medals in Tokyo Paralympics. India ends day 6 on historic 5-medal high. Yogesh Kathunia clinches silver in men's discus throw. Devendra Jhajaria wins silver and Sundar Singh Gurjar bags bronze in javelin throw. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate the para-athletes. Multiple rocket attacks across Kabul ahead of tomorrow's deadline by United States to complete its withdrawal from Afghanistan. Indian Air Force aircraft return after evacuation operation in Afghanistan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says nation should remain vigilant and be prepared to deal with any threat. More than 64 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country. Recovery rate stands at 97.51%. Delhi government issues SOPs for reopening of schools, colleges and other educational institutions from 1st of next month. INS Airawat reaches Ho Chi Minh City port in Vietnam with COVID relief material as part of Mission Sagar. Sensex and Nifty hit record closing highs, and Janmashtami is being celebrated with religious fervour across the country. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
Welcome back to the evening news. India has crossed yet another milestone in the COVID vaccination drive, with the total vaccination crossing the 64 crore mark today. The Union Health Ministry said more than 49 crore vaccine doses have been administered as the first dose and over 14 crore vaccine doses given as second dose so far. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from the 21st of June this year. The ministry said more than 53 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. It said the vaccination exercise as a tool to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19 continues to be regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level. The Health Ministry said the COVID recovery rate in the country stands at 97.51%. Many state governments are planning to reopen schools and educational institutions from the 1st of September as COVID-19 cases are declining. Delhi government has issued Standard Operating Procedure SOP for reopening of schools, colleges and other educational institutions. The institutions in the national capital will reopen in 2 phases as announced by the Delhi government. From Wednesday, schools will reopen for classes 9th to 12th, while those for standards 6th to 8th are expected to restart from September the 8th. As per guidelines issued by the Delhi Disaster Management Authority, maximum 50% attendance will be allowed. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said no student will be forced to attend school and consent of parents is mandatory. The Tamil Nadu government has also announced that physical classes will resume from September the 1st for students in standards 9th to 12th. Initially, classes will be held with 50% capacity. In Rajasthan, schools will reopen for the first time since April. All colleges will restart in Meghalaya, along with schools for classes 9th to 12th in urban areas. As part of the ongoing mission Sagar, INS Airawat today reached Ho Chi Minh City port in Vietnam with COVID relief material. The ship is carrying 100 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen in 5 ISO containers and 300 oxygen concentrators of 10 liters per minute capacity each. INS Airawat, an indigenously built landing ship tank large under the Eastern Naval Command based at Visakhapatnam, is on a deployment to Southeast Asia for transshipment of COVID relief aid. The Indian Navy has been proactively engaging with countries in the region and has been at the forefront of numerous humanitarian missions spanning the entire extent of the Indian Ocean, including South and Southeast Asia and East Africa.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the death of eminent writer Buddhadev Guha. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Buddhadev Guha's writings were multifaceted and displayed great sensitivity to the environment. At the domestic stock markets, both the key indices, the Sensex and the Nifty, posted its record closing highs today, while the rupee ended at a 2.5-month high against the dollar. A report from the Business World.
At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange shot up 765 points or 1.4% to end at an all-time high of 56,890 today. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange spurted 226 points or 1.4% to a record closing high of 16,931. Gold slipped 199 rupees to 46,389 rupees per 10 grams in Delhi, and at the Forex market, the rupee jumped 42 paise to a 2.5-month high of 73 rupees and 26 paise against the dollar. And in the international market, Brent crude moved up 11 cents to trade at $72.81 per barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Stay tuned.
Let's listen now to our special program Azadi Ka Safar.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest movements the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of freedom fighter and later Chief Minister of Odisha, Vinayak Acharya, who was born on this day in 1918 in Berhampur, Odisha, affectionately called as Odisha's Ajat Shatru, which means one who has only friends and no enemies. A frail-looking man, the khadi-clad Vinayak Acharya was a simple and soft-speaking gentleman. He was closely associated with the Indian freedom struggle and actively participated in the Quit India movement, which had a marked impact on the city of Berhampur.
He played a vital role in all the phases of manifold development of Odisha. His political, social, educational and administrative contributions especially merit high appreciation. He was deeply influenced by his father Raghunath Acharya and a contemporary literary personality, Ramachandra Acharya.
Vinayak was an independent-minded person and never wanted to join any government service under the British. Consequently, he joined a non-government high school in Hinjalicut and subsequently joined the Berhampur Municipal High School as an assistant teacher. He had a great quality of perseverance and was a promising and pragmatic leader in his own field.
From the beginning, he was attracted towards socialism and proved to be a true Gandhian in the subsequent phases of his life. During the Quit India movement, Acharya worked as a messenger of the freedom fighters. to pass on relevant information from person to person. Talking exclusively to AIR, eminent Gandhian Dr. Biswajit Roy, trustee, Central Gandhi Smarak Nidhi, Odisha, shed light on the contribution of the great freedom fighter.
जब अंग्रेज भारत छोड़ो कार्यक्रम शुरू हुआ और उसमें पूरा देश के साथ साथ उड़ीसा भी उस आंदोलन में कूच पड़ा, उसी समय में विनायक आचार्य जी और उनके बड़े भाई सत्यनारायण आचार्य जी, ये दोनों ने स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में हिस्सा लिया। जो संग्रामी जेल जाते थे, के परिवार को मदद करने का काम किया। स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के बाद जब देश को आजादी मिली, शिक्षा व्यवस्था को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया।
Acharya made significant contributions to the educational advancement of Odisha. His popularity as a good teacher attracted students not only from Berhampur and Ganjam district, but also from all over Odisha.
As a result, he was affectionately called Binu Master by all. During his teaching career, he formed Navotkal Seva Sangh to help the downtrodden of the society. Haridakhandi Math was established at his initiation to help the poor students.
In 1954, when language clashes broke out in southern Odisha, Acharya led peace squads in the trouble areas. He also joined the cause of downtrodden communities, often shocking orthodox communities by sitting down to a meal with lower caste communities. Acharya always remained committed for the development of education, the country's sovereignty, secularism, national integration and eradication of class biases. During his chief ministership from 1976-77, he laid considerable emphasis on the elementary education and made efforts to reduce the school dropout cases. He passed away on 11 December 1983.
However, Vinayak Acharya still lives in the memory of our great nation for his selfless devotion to national causes. His zeal towards social reforms will continue to inspire people to work for the empowerment and upliftment of weaker sections of the society. India is forever indebted to the selfless service of such great persons.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Janmashtami, which marks the birth of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated across the country today. Devotees are thronging temples to offer prayers to Lord Krishna. Mathura and Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh are fully geared to celebrate the birth of Lord Krishna. Thousands of temples, including Banke Vihari Temple, Prem Mandir, ISKCON Temple and Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi Temple, have been decorated in Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna. Krishna Janmashtami, the birthday of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated in Gujarat under COVID-19 protocols. Our correspondent reports that the famous Shri Dwarkadhish Temple and Shri Ranchod Rai Ji Temple remained open for devotees on the occasion of Krishna Janmashtami. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Javelin thrower Sumit Antil and shooter Avni Lekra win gold medals in Tokyo Paralympics. India ends day 6 on historic 5-medal high. Yogesh Kathunia clinches silver in men's discus throw. Devendra Jhajharia wins silver and Sundar Singh Gurjar bags bronze in javelin throw. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate the para-athletes. Multiple rocket attacks across Kabul ahead of tomorrow's deadline by United States to complete its withdrawal from Afghanistan. Indian Air Force aircraft return after evacuation operation in Afghanistan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says nations should remain vigilant and be prepared to deal with any threat. More than 64 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country. Recovery rate stands at 97.51%. Delhi government issues SOPs for reopening of schools, colleges, other educational institutions from 1st of next month. INS Airawat reaches Ho Chi Minh City port in Vietnam with COVID relief material as part of Mission Sagar. Sensex and Nifty hit record closing highs, and Janmashtami being celebrated with religious fervour across the country. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.